While preparing the final accounts of the not-for-profit organization or non-trading concerns are prepared on a similar pattern as that of the business organization. However, a few items of income and expenses of such organization are somewhat different in nature and need some special attention in their treatment in the final accounts. So we'll start with the subscription. So subscription is the membership fee paid by the members on annual basis. And this is the main source of income for such organization. So subscription paid by members is shown as a receipt in the receipts and payment account and as an income in the income and expenditure account. So it may be noted that receipts and payment account shows the total amount of subscription actually received during the year, irrespective of whether it is related to previous year or future year or current year. But while recording transactions in the income and expenditure account, so it is confined to the current period amount only, irrespective of fact whether it has been received or not. We have to record in the income and expenditure account. So for the example, a club received 20,000 subscription during the year 2005-6. In that 20,000, 3,000 is belongs to 4-5, in the sense previous year, and 2,000 belongs to future year, in the sense they received in advance. So at the end of the year 2005-6, 6,000 are still receivable. So in the sense outstanding. So see, just for the record, they received 20,000 during the year 2005-6. So 20,000. So we have to record only current year amount. So out of 20,000, 3,000 belongs to previous year, so that we have to deduct it. And 2,000 is belongs to previous future year, so that we have to deduct it 2,000. So at the end of the year 2005-6, 6,000 are still receivable, in the sense it is not received yet, for which is belongs to 2005 and 6, and it is not going to be recorded in the receipts and payments account, because receipts and payment account records only cash transactions. It is like a cash book. So this is outstanding amount. So this outstanding amount, outstanding income, we have to add it to the remaining balance. So finally it comes around 21,000, which we have to mention in the income and expenditure account as an income in the income side of the statement. So how we have to mention these transactions in the account? So subscription account. See, basically incomes and liabilities have the credit side balances. So it opens with the credit side. Whatever the amount received as a subscription, we'll mention in the credit side. So whatever the see, for this instance, balance received in advance during previous year. If any amount received in advance in the 2004 and 5, we have to mention, because it is related to the 2005-6. So unfortunately there is no amount received in advance during the previous year, and we received 20,000 during the year. So we received 20,000. So we have to receive there is an outstanding amount. We have to, but it is belongs to the current year. So we have to receive. That's why we mentioned 6,000 over here. So total amount of these three amounted to 26,000. Out of 26,000, what we have to deduct it? The ones which are belongs to previous year and future year. So 3,000 belongs to the previous year. That is why we mentioned in the debit side. So 2,000 is belongs to 2006 and 7. So we mentioned in the 2,000 rupees in the debit side. So whatever the balancing figure, we'll transfer it to the income and expenditure account as an income in the income side of the expenditure, which we received during the year 2005-6. So we are going to another example. So as per the receipts and payment account for the year ended March 31st, 2006, so that we have to prepare current year is 2005-6. So the subscription received were 2,50,000 as per the receipts and payment account. So it ignores the previous year and future year transactions. It considers only whether received the cash or not. So subscriptions received during the year 2005-6, 2,50,000. So additional information, outstanding in the beginning of the year. So beginning of the year it is outstanding. So in the sense it is not received at that time, still outstanding, they felt. In the sense this 50,000 is belongs to previous year, and it may be collected in the during the year 2005-6. So that is why we have to deduct this outstanding opening balance. So less outstanding opening balance I'll mention it as outstanding on 2005. It is 50,000. So next amount, subscription outstanding at the end, in the sense during the year it is not collected, so that we have to add this 35,000. So outstanding on 31st March 2006 at the end of current year. So 35,000. Subscription received in advance in the beginning. In the sense, it is belongs to 2005-6 because they received in the beginning, which is belongs to the current year. So that is why it is an addition. We have to add this to the subscriptions. Received in advance. In the beginning of the year, 1 4 2005, that is 25,000. So subscription received in advance at the end. So at the end of the year, they received advance, in the sense it is belongs to future year. So this amount we have to deduct it. March 31st 2006. For your understanding, I'm just mentioning so these are the amounts. How relevant items of subscription? Okay. So what are the final balances? Future amount is 30,000. So we have to deduct 80,000 out of 2,50,000. 1,70,000 is the balance, and to this 1,70,000 we have to add the 60,000 rupees, 35 and 25. 2 lakh comes around 2,30,000. Income from subscription current year. I'll mention it like this for the understanding. So we have to transfer this amount to income and expenditure account. So how to prepare an account for these transactions? So I'll begin with the received amount. Receipts and payment account. Received during the year, 2,50,000. So what are the amounts we have to add? by outstanding at the end. 35,000 and by received in advance in the beginning. It is 25,000. So, to outstanding at the beginning, it is 50,000. To received in advance at the end of the year. So it is 30,000. So it comes around 3,10,000. Out of 3,10,000, we have to deduct it 80,000. So it comes around 2,30,000. Balancing figure. So this is how we have to prepare the account. So to make it simple, I just mentioned the deductible items in the beginning and additions in the later. But at the time of preparation of a subscription account, I mention it in a different way. So this is all for understanding. So what items we have to deduct it, what items we have to add to the incomes. So general rule of thumb, it begins with the credit balance. So whatever we have to add it, we have to mention it in the credit side. Whatever we have to deduct it, we have to mention it in the debit side. So what the remaining balance is the balancing figure, and we have to shift it to the income and expenditure account. So how we have to mention the subscription in the balance sheet? Actually, this amount is belongs to the income and expenditure account, income side. So what items the balance sheet contains? So this is the opening balance sheet, and this is the balance sheet as on 31st March 2006, closing balance sheet. So in the opening balance sheet, what are the items we have to mention it. So outstanding incomes and advances received. So the items, the transactions belongs to 2005. So subscription outstanding income. So 2005 it is 50,000 and in advance in 2005 25,000. So outstanding income is an asset and received in advance is a liability. So at any time they have to mention it or they have to pay back. So that is why it is a liability, advances. So outstanding on 1/4/2005 is an asset. One four 2005 50,000. So 2005 advances received an advance as on 1st April 2005 25,000. 25,000. Likewise in the closing balance sheet. So advances received an advance at the end of the year 2006 30,000. It is a liability. So outstanding at the end of the year 2006 it is 35,000. So only outstanding amounts will come in the asset side and received in advances amount will come in the liability side. So another example. Extracts of receipts and payment account for the year ended March 31st, 2006 are given below. So 5/6 is the current year. So total number of members 230, membership fee 125. So we'll go one by one. Subscription received during the year. So receipts of subscriptions 30,000, whether it is previous year or future year, it mentioned in the receipts and payment account, that is 30,250. So we'll deduct it less what are the transactions we have to deduct it from the received ones, which are belongs to the previous year as well as the future year. So subscription outstanding at the beginning In the beginning of the year, it is still outstanding. In the sense, we have to deduct this 2750, which is belongs to the previous year and may be collected in the present year. So you can ask, so here it is already mentioned which one is belongs to the previous year. Okay, we'll go with the regular procedure and then we'll discuss about it later. I'll tell you. So subscription outstanding on the beginning of the year is 2750. Outstanding at the beginning of the year April 2005. So that is 2750. So and less future year 1000. I am considering from these balances. You may ask that why don't you consider this balance if it belongs to the previous year? But we have a conflict with this amount and this amount. So, but we do not have any conflict with the future year. So that first of all, whatever the deductible items I am deducting. So 1000, which is belongs to the previous year, received in advance. That is 1000. So it comes around 34,000. Sorry, we have to deduct it. So 3,750 we have to deduct. So it comes around 26,500. Add. So what are the transactions we have to add? Outstanding at the end and add received in advance. Received in advance. So if we receive in the beginning, it is belongs to the current year. So we do not have any amount for this transactions. So that is why it is nil. So finally, so outstanding at the end. So what is the amount outstanding at the end? So if we observe the annual membership fee is 28,750. Out of 28,750, we received 26,750. So still 2,000 yet to receive. Yet to receive. In the sense, it is outstanding amount for the current year. So, and If you see this subscriptions outstanding, which is belongs to the previous year, is 2750, and we assume that it is received and we deducted it. So still 250 yet to receive. So in the final, so at the end of the year, the outstanding amounts 250 is belongs to the, even though it is belongs to previous year, still it is outstanding during the year, and this 2000 also belongs to during the year. So it comes up like 2250 is the outstanding at the end of the current year. So we'll calculate this amount here. So outstanding in the beginning 2750, and actual received 2500. 250 still outstanding. Due for the year 2005-6. 230 into 125 comes around 28,750 minus actually received 26,750. So 2250 is the total outstanding. At the end of the year 2000. So this is the confusing area for this subscription. So outstanding at the end of the year is 2250. So we have to add this 2250. So finally, it comes around 28,750, which we have to show it in the income and expenditure account as an income. Income from subscription during the year. So another example for the special fund, which is uh, another peculiar item. So we'll go with the illustration. Show how you would deal with the following items in the final account of a club. So prize fund 80,000, prize fund investments 80,000, and income from prize fund investments 8,000, prizes awarded 6,000. So as this is a capitalization item, so this treatment will be different in the final accounts. So for example, income from prize fund investments. So this income we have to add it to the prize fund, and then we have to mention it in the balance sheet, not in the income and expenditure account. So no item for this special fund is belongs to income and expenditure account. So we'll go with the illustration. So prize fund investment. Investments are assets. So 80,000. This special fund, we have to mention it in the liabilities side. Prize fund amounts 80,000. And out of this 80,000, we have to add income. So it amounts to 88,000. So out of this 88,000, how much the club spent on the award of prizes? Prizes awarded 6,000 rupees they spent out of this fund. So whatever the amount spent, they have to we have to deduct it from the fund available for use. So this is how we have to deal with the special fund, that is prize fund. We have to mention all the transactions relating to the special fund. So we are going to next peculiar item. Sorry, we are going to the next illustration relating to the special fund. Match fund. So show the following information in financial statements of not for profit organization or non-trading concern, whatever. So we have to show the information in the final statements. So what will be the effect if match expenses go up by 6,000, other things remaining the same? So this match expenses, if it goes up by 6,000, in the sense 22,000, so what will be the effect? So how to deal with this special fund, match fund? The same procedure as we applied in the above illustration. So liabilities side, match fund 8,000, add donation for match fund. So actually, general donations are incomes. So if donation meant for special purpose, we have to use the such donation for the special purpose only. So and we have to treat that as a capital capitalized amount. So we have to add it to the capital fund. So this donation is belongs to match fund. So we have to add this to match fund. So it is around 5,000. So 5,000. And sale of match tickets, add. So it increases the match fund. Sale of match tickets, 7,000. So it amounts to 20,000. Less match expenses, 16,000. So the remaining balance 4,000. So 4,000 we have to show it in the liabilities side. So what if match expenses go up by 6,000? So I'm just copying because all other things are so I just copied everything because all other things are same. So only match expenses we have to increase. It comes around 22,000. So we have negative balance here. So it's around 2000 rupees. So this 2000 negative balance. So where we have to mention this. So that is why we have to prepare a working note for each and every peculiar item. So instead of directly mentioning in the balance sheet, it is better to mention or working in the working notes. So where how we have to treat this excess 2000 expenses? We have to mention it in the income and expenditure account. So we have to mention it in the income and expenditure account. So why? Because they incur more expenditure than the fund. So whatever they incurred, the balance amount they have to mention it in the expenditure side, in the sense the debit side of the income and expenditure account, so that the final surplus or deficit may appear, and then those surplus, if it is surplus, we'll add it to the capital fund in the liability side. If it is a deficit, we'll deduct it from the capital fund. So this is the difference. If expenses are within the limit, if exceeds. So, so I'm going to the another illustration for the stationery, stationery consumed. So if they give information like this, how we have to deal this stationery? So generally, we know the procedure: opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock. Then we'll have the stationery consumed. So here, what is the opening stock of stationery, and how much they purchased it, and what is the closing stock? So how we have to find the stationery consumed? So the given information, we can easily identify stock of stationery in the beginning. This is opening stock is 4000. 4000 plus, so we have purchases, because they have given some creditors information, so that it will take time. So what is the closing balance? It is 3000. So this given particulars, we have to identify the purchases. Payments made for stationery during the year 23,000. So One second. Instead of going with this procedure, you can simply creditors prepare this creditors account. So creditors account is a liability. Creditor is a liability. So that a balance opening balance starts in the credit side of the account. So by opening balance 9,000 to closing balance 2,500 to cash payments made during the year for the stationery is 23,000. So comes around 25,500. 25,500. The balance amount is 16,500 are the credit purchases. So purchases, it amounts to 16,500. So finally 16,500. $17,500 is the stationery consumed. So this balance is the expenditure, and we'll mention this in the expenditure side of the income and expenditure account.